Thanks for checking out this video. You could be listening to any idiot on the internet with a mic in front of them, but you chose to listen to us, and we appreciate that.
We're sending you a virtual hug. If you have any trade questions or start-sit questions, leave a comment. Justin or myself will definitely respond, or maybe even both of us will respond.
If you like the video, drop us a like, comment, sub. You know the drill.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Fantasy with your hosts, Greg and Justin.
Check the description for players that just didn't make the list this week, and leave us a comment if we forgot anyone on the list. At 36, we have Gus Edwards, 16 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown against the Steelers. J.K. Dobbins was also, I think he took on 15 carries. J.K. Dobbins just looked a bit better, but Gus Edwards is just kind of a tank player. I think that they're going to give him when it comes time at the goal line, you need to score a touchdown. I think they're handing the ball off to Gus Edwards over J.K. Dobbins. So I think in that scenario, I think J.K. Dobbins is a better running back. But in that scenario, I think they're going to see usage from Gus Edwards. I think it's going to be kind of the numbers say 50-50 split as far as carries go. So it's definitely an interesting addition. He's probably on your waiver wire, probably better than some of the players you have on your team at the moment.
For sure. The snap count says J.K. Dobbins. So.
Yeah.
At number 35, we have Dexter Williams taking on the 49ers. Don't know much about this guy since he is a practice squad member, but with Aaron Jones being a game time decision, LaFleur said, we'll give him up to game time and then we'll figure it out. So we'll see. Doesn't make you feel good. Not very confident in that, but with A.J. Dillon getting COVID, Jamaal Williams also out with the COVID. Not that he has it. I think he's just in lockdown. It leaves Dexter Williams, promoted freshly off the practice squad. Got a quote from A-Raj. He said, I love Dex. He's done a nice job. I'm excited about him getting opportunities, and he's going to be asked to do some things on Thursday.
It felt like Aaron Rodgers was in the booth.
Yeah, I don't know how good of an accent that was, but I practice it often.
Immaculate,
dude. That quote though, you mentioned it earlier. It doesn't make you feel great.
No, very generic blanket statement.
Yeah, they're going on against the 49ers. He's going to be the starting running back, but I just see a world where they just decide not to run. They run the ball 10 times, and then their run game is screen games. Their run games is shovel passes. So I don't expect a 20 carry game from him. They'll probably use Tyler Ervin back there, even though he's a scrawny little wide receiver, but he's worth a shot.
Our wide receiver rankings reflect that sentiment of what the game script could look like, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Not to give away too much what our rankings are.
Ooh,
you should check that out yourself.
Nice. That's called a plug.
Amen, baby.
Yeah.
I'll plug ourselves all day.
Hey. That's all I got to say about Dexter Williams, though. If you have to start him, Godspeed, but my confidence is not high.
You're really taking a long shot on Dexter Williams.
Yeah, absolutely.
At number 34, we have Jonathon Taylor. Jonathon Taylor owners are probably crying at the moment. But there's at least a silver lining in that he was just injured.
Was he, though?
That's what Phillip Rivers said. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. I think that my opinion of the Colts backfield is just going to be a hot hand approach. Right now, it's Jordan Wilkins had the ball 20 times. Jonathon Taylor hasn't been incredibly efficient with his carries. Then again, Jordan Wilkins hasn't been either, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't have the specific numbers, but
I mean, yeah, you'd have to dig in from last year.
Wilkins was more productive this week, though, with 4.5 yards per carry to Jonathon Taylor's 2 yards per carry.
I mean, yeah, Jonathon Taylor just hasn't looked good versus the bad teams.
Yeah.
And now they're taking on the Ravens, who does have 7 defensive players out with COVID, but you're not feeling great about it.
Be skeptical at the moment.
Yes.
Only play him if you absolutely have to, I would say.
I agree. At 33, we got Ronald Jones taking on the Saints. And, man, Bruce Arians, when you're in his doghouse, you are in his doghouse. This man does not like when you fuck up his system, and fumbling the ball will make you lose all your carries.
Yeah.
Started the game, had, I think, the first 4 rushes, and ended up fumbling, and we did not see much of him after. He did secure 4 catches, had 7 carries, ended up with 6.6 fantasy points. I'm just not with Bruce Arians. He's not going to trust Ronald Jones, and there was a time where Ronald Jones was doing great, and now that Leonard Fournette is proven that he can put the team on his back, I think Ronald Jones is just going to get phased out and going to just have a very diminished role in that offense where they just kind of need to change a pace back.
Do you see a scenario in which you keep Ronald Jones, drop Ronald Jones? What do you do with Ronald Jones this week if you have him on your team? Do you start him?
Oh man, that's tough. If you have better, I look for a better option. I don't know what his projections are. 11.9 on ESPN. That's very generous.
That's
generous. But I don't think you drop him because Leonard Fournette has shown that he does get hurt, and we saw what Ronald Jones can do when Leonard Fournette is hurt. So I think you definitely hold on to him, but I'm not trying to start him if I don't have to.
Arians could also just play the hot hand too, and maybe it's Ronald Jones this week. Maybe it's Leonard Fournette this week. But, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, since Leonard Fournette's come back, he's slowly gaining the snap count. So yeah. I'm not sold.
Just from talent-wise, too, Leonard Fournette's a better player.
100%.
So, I mean, you're probably down. You enjoyed those few weeks with Ronald Jones. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're hesitant to play him like I was. At number 32, you have Damien Harris, 16 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. His touchdown run was really nice, actually. I did catch that highlight.
He's a good player.
I guess out of the backfield, it looks like he's emerged as the top running back. He's had double-digit carries the past few weeks against the Jets. I think this is a really good matchup for him. I think that they'll have I don't think they trust Cam Newton to throw the ball, so they're going to hand the ball off to Damien Harris.
Yeah, he's very volume dependent. Josh McDaniel said, Damien is the kind of guy, there may or may not be a hole, but he's going to make one. So I don't know what that means.
Sounds like he's just going to run into players whether they're there or not.
I don't know if that's supposed to be praise. Obviously it is, but I guess when your offensive coordinator's praising you, saying nicer things about you than this guy's not shit, you can be pretty excited. And yeah, like against the Jets, pretty good matchup.
A lot of wide receiver injuries too.
Yeah, that is for certain. Up next, we have Mike Davis at number 31 taking on the Chiefs. This is going to be the first game where he's back and where CMC's back, and we get to see what Mike Davis's role is going to be. Me and Greg, we've been a little contentious about this prior to CMC coming back. We didn't talk about it earlier, but we do believe, or at least I believe, I don't want to speak for you.
What were you about to say?
I think he has a role. I think you don't want to, even after this week, I mean, obviously they're going to want to work CMC back in because he got hurt for a reason, and that's because they rely on him way too heavily. So I think Mike Davis is too talented not to see work. I think he's going to be in that 10 to 12 carry range, maybe get a few passes here and there. It's tough, though, because it's a wait-and-see game. But I think if you have to start Mike Davis, I think he can make it happen.
I'm curious because typically what we do is we each do a rankings, and then we discuss and kind of adjust the rankings from there. So on your individual rankings, would you have Mike Davis higher than 31, and how much higher? I'm curious. Because you're definitely higher on Mike Davis at this point than I am, I would say.
I like Mike Davis where he is. I think the players above him I wouldn't start. Honestly, I probably like Damien Harris a little bit more than Mike Davis. That's on us.
Yeah.
That's on me.
I think even like talking through it, I like Damien Harris this week. It's interesting, though, because Mike Davis looks good when he runs the ball. They've involved him in the passing game. He's definitely going to have opportunities against the Chiefs, especially as they're easing Christian McCaffrey back into it. So I guess if you have Mike Davis, do you consider playing him this week still, or are you benching him? Because if you have Mike Davis, chances are you picked him up off the waivers and you've just been riding him out. So maybe you have other options.
Well, if it's between Mike Davis and Rojo, I'm going Mike Davis because
Yeah.
they're both the second running back on their team.
Yeah.
And I just think Mike Davis looks better. And they're playing the Chiefs, so they're going to have to get themselves back into the game. I think they're going to have to ease CMC in a little bit. Ease probably means 20-plus carries.
Yeah.
But I do think Mike Davis has value.
Well said. At 30, we have Devin Singletary. He is giving you headaches if you own Devin Singletary. Hopefully you haven't been playing him at all. And maybe this is definitely a better week, but you're probably still hesitant to play him, and that's fair. Last week though had 14 carries for 86 yards, 1 catch for 6 yards. So he had a productive day for fantasy football purposes with 10 points. And against the Seahawks, they're not the best on defensively against the running back, so I don't know. It's hard to start any Bills running back with confidence, I would say, but he's in a 50-50 split with Zack Moss. So he's going to have opportunities. He just has to make some plays.
He looked pretty good last week.
He did have some good runs.
If that makes you feel any better. At 29, we got Matt Brieda taking on the Cardinals. Myles Gaskin is expected to miss the next 3 games due to a MCL sprain. So that leads Matt Brieda. Jordan Howard could see some work. I know they signed DeAndre Washington, but I don't think DeAndre Washington's going to see much since he's so new.
He was a Raider at one point.
Not a good one.
He's a pass-catching back, scat back.
Matt Brieda, he knows the offense. Jordan Howard has looked awful. There was a reason he was healthy scratches. I like Matt Brieda going forward as long as Myles Gaskin's out. We put him this low just because we don't really know how that offense is going to go, especially with Tua back there. Doesn't look to be the most high-powered offense. They did have one good drive. They had the defensive touchdown. Another time they got the ball down to like the 3-yard line the defense did, and then they just ran it in with Myles Gaskin. So it doesn't feel great, like when you're just taking a look at that offense in general. Now with Tua, wish Fitzmagic was back in there. Same. But we can't all get what we want.
He was a playmaker on the 49ers, but they kind of – it's hard to predict 49ers running backs just because of the –
for sure.
But he's had injury history.
Yeah, as all 49er running backs
also
do.
True. At 28, we have Troymaine Pope. 10 carries, 67 yards, 5 catches for 28 yards, which is the best part of all that, I would say.
7 targets.
7 targets.
That's a lot of targets for a running back.
Yeah. Against the Raiders, it should be a competitive game, in my opinion. The Raiders will give it up on defense to the running back and just all around, I would say. Though they held the Browns pretty well.
It could
have been weather.
A terrible game weather-wise.
Yeah, definitely an interesting start this week. Justin Jackson was definitely the lead back there. But getting the start over – who's the other running back? I can't remember his name. That got benched.
Josh Kelly.
Yeah,
he's definitely the number 2 running back on that team now. I think he just does more of what that offense wants to do. I don't think they're really a ground and pound type team. I think they're more of like a Kansas City Chiefs-esque.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert wants to sling it. They want to find creative ways to get into open space, and I think Troymaine Pope just does a better job of that than Josh Kelly.
Well said.
And he's not fumbling the ball.
Yeah.
At number 27, we have Jordan Wilkins. I don't know why I'm talking like this. They're taking on the Ravens, which should be a tough matchup. But as we mentioned earlier, 7 defensive players out on IR of the COVID. Patrick Queen and Matt Judon and Marlon Humphrey, to name a few. That's some starters right there. That's gonna be a little bit hurtful for you. But overall, it's still a tough matchup. But let's hear from our offensive coordinator from the Colts on why Wilkins hasn't had a bigger role. Whenever you have a guy who takes advantage of the opportunities the way Jordan has, I think you always are going to ask that question. Jordan has done nothing but earn more opportunities, and he'll continue to get more opportunities. So there you have it. He's going to get more work. He had a ton of work last game. He led the way.
He had 20 carries.
20 carries.
I don't know if he had much involvement in the passing game.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines was definitely looking like the guy.
Yeah.
But overall, it's good to see the boy back. It sucks that Phillip Rivers is his quarterback because it just makes him look bad. But when you got 20 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown, it's a damn good day.
I'd definitely be hesitant with any of these Colts running backs though, because you don't know who's going to get the work.
He had one catch for 24 yards.
Oh,
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good screen, I would assume.
One catch, yeah.
I can't say I saw the play.
I feel like, honestly, my opinion is it's just going to be a committee approach and feed the hot hands. So I think it's just going to be depending on who's going off that day.
Yeah, we disagree here. I like Jordan Wilkins going forward, but
more than Jonathon Taylor rest of the season?
Yeah, for sure. Jonathon Taylor's a rookie. He doesn't he's not Frank Gore, he's not Lev Bell. Like, you didn't bring him in to do this. Like, he had an opportunity, he did well.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to keep it. If the offensive coordinator decides that, hey, this guy's looking better, he's earned it.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. And as of now, it sounds like Jordan Wilkins is earning his stripes.
All right. At 26, we have Wayne Gallman / Devonta Freeman. Bit of a cop-out, but Devonta – is it Devonta or Devontae? I don't want to say it wrong.
I think it's Devonta.
Devonta Freeman. He's still questionable. We don't really have insight on if he's going to be playing or not. Whoever it is between the two, if Devonta is playing, I think you play him, obviously. If it's Wayne Gallman, he's going to be that lead back as well. 12 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown.
It probably is Devontae.
I don't know.
I've never met anyone named Devonta.
I feel like I've heard him referred to as Devonta Freeman, though. Devontae Freeman. I don't know. I feel like I've heard
they
Devonta
say
Freeman.
It too quick. It's like when people
Devonta
say
Freeman.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's not like
how is it like that?
Because they'll be like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and they'll say it with the H, but there's no H.
Oh.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
What's the dude on Monday Night Football? Steve Levy. What? He kept calling him Clyde Edwards-Helaire. She was killing me, dog. I was like, bro, you got to stop. Helaire.
Anyways, either of these running backs you're not going to be excited about starting them, but you know they're going to get the volume. It's a tough matchup, but it's also kind of a tough pickings in running back land. So I would be willing to flex or play either of these as the RB2, not with great confidence, but the opportunity to run the ball is going to present itself. Passing game-wise, they're going to be looking more through the air. If Devonta is playing, Devontae. If Freeman is playing, I think his opportunity in the passing game is a little bit more high than Wayne Gallman's. But, yeah, it just depends on who's playing. You got a starting running back in either of them.
That is for certain. At 25, we got J.K. Dobbins taking on the Colts. Definitely a tough matchup. Mark Ingram's out. J.K. Dobbins, it's time for him to shine. He did last game. He really impressed me, honestly. Gus Edwards definitely saw some good work, but J.K. Dobbins, 15 carries, 113 yards against the Steelers. So I think he can do some work against the Colts. Maybe not as good of a game, but I like him going forward as long as Mark Ingram is no longer there, which that sucks.
I don't know how they could. Their running game is just so much better without him.
Yeah, I like Mark Ingram as a person, so that's a little tough for me.
J.K. Dobbins definitely passes the eye test, bare minimum.
I agree.
At 24, we have Phillip Lindsay. We finally saw him and Melvin Gordon fully healthy together, I want to say. Only had 6 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. I mean, when he has the ball in his hands, he takes advantage of his opportunities. He's an explosive runner, especially for his size. Obviously, injury risk is there, but yeah, I mean, the work isn't there necessarily, but he's capitalizing on his opportunities. Talented runner, really good matchup against the Falcons. I'd be pretty excited to start Phillip Lindsay this week.
Yeah, I think he's like the clear-cut better runner. Like, he looks better when he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Melvin Gordon always gets the more valuable touches. So it's tough. If Melvin Gordon goes down, I think Phillip Lindsay's value is going to shoot through the roof. But as of now, I think he's like a lower end play.
Melvin Gordon has always been a volume-dependent running back, I feel like.
Yeah. Isn't that your method, picking up girls?
Yes.
Volume.
So unnecessary, bro.
Sorry. At 23.
Well, you're 5'2" and 260, dog.
4'11", bro. Don't flex on the people.
Yo, it's shorter every week. I'm losing inches over
You're
here.
going to be 1 foot by the end of the season.
This is a running joke literally no one gives a fuck about,
No,
but
I
it's
don't think-
somehow come up every week. It's not like we're trying to bring it up. I'm definitely not trying to bring up how small I am.
I think it's just fun roasting you.
True.
Well, I guess we'll move on. At 23, we got Zack Moss taking on the Seahawks, coming off a huge 14-carry, 81-yard, 2-touchdown day. Very impressive, to be honest. I think this is kind of what everybody was waiting for to see when Zack Moss would take over Devin Singletary. And last week, it looked like it was the time. Had 53% of the snaps compared to Devin Singletary's 48%. So
It doesn't make me feel that much better.
no, but that's the first time he's outsnapped him. So
Fair.
it's something. We saw this with Ronald Jones last week. He was getting close to being outsnapped, and then it finally happened, and boom, now it's going crazy. So maybe something similar is going to happen. Who knows? The Seahawks defense could be better, but as of now, they're no Legion of Boom.
He had 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
They were giving him the more valuable touches during his percentage of the snaps, so that's definitely notable. And he is finding his way into the end zone. It's definitely risky starting any Bills running back just because Josh Allen could take one in instead of your running back,
which he has been doing.
Yep. At 22, we have Le'Veon Bell. Did not have the revenge game we had hoped for against his Jets.
No, not even close.
Patrick Mahomes didn't even give him the opportunity to.
They were disrespecting the fuck out of the Jets.
For no reason.
Did you see how many? I think they had 2 excessive celebration penalties.
I saw the defense was like swag surfing.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
That's
that shit was
crazy.
kind of dope.
The one where Tyreek Hill jumped in the stands.
I saw that.
That was a flag. The one where fucking
Doesn't even seem that excessive.
I'm saying, yeah, Travis Kelce when he you can't dunk on the goalpost, bro. Like, why you got a LeBron James that shit? Like, I'm surprised that shit wasn't sideways by the end of it.
I actually didn't see that.
There was another one where
I remember seeing that and being like, damn, that's a solid dunk on that.
it was
I
good.
was like, damn.
I want to see him throw down on a hoop.
Hell yeah.
There's another one where Tyreek Hill was riding Patrick Mahomes'
I saw
back.
that.
I wanted him to get higher up and like hold his arm out like he was jousting, and I wanted him to just like spear one of the Jets players, but that was a dream.
Definitely would have been a flag.
Really let down.
We got a bit off topic. Le'Veon Bell is a risky play.
To be fair, he saw the same exact work as Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah. Panthers are a really bad defense.
Yeah, saw the same targets and the same amount of carries.
It's just a risk each week is like Patrick Mahomes is just going to swing all over you, and it's going to be a different person going off each week. There's going to be multiple people going off each week with multiple touchdowns. There's going to be touchdowns for everyone. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to have a touchdown. It's just going to be, depending on who it is, it's probably going to be Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill first. Wide receiver. Yeah, it's hard to predict who's going to get the touchdowns, but yeah, this past week just wasn't the week.
Definitely not, and it wasn't the week for Jerick McKinnon either.
Oh,
He's coming in at number
I love
21.
That segue, bro.
He's taking on the Packers. This was a real debate me and Greg had, which somehow I ended up winning. It's like I'm the alpha in this situation.
Am
Am I the alpha? Yeah, Jerick McKinnon, he looks pretty good, but they just are not giving him the ball. He had 1 carry last game, and
he had 3 carries.
No, 3 carries. Excuse me.
Negative 1 yards.
For negative 1 yards,
yeah.
So,
and a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a passing. That was a receiving touchdown. I think he had 4 catches. Yeah,
it was actually a rushing touchdown.
Are you serious?
I'm about to look it up, but I'm pretty confident about it.
Man, if my phone wasn't dying.
3 rushing attempts, negative 1 yards, and a touchdown, 4 receptions for 40 yards.
Okay, that's actually impressive that you can have a touchdown and negative yards.
Yeah.
I digress, though. I like Jerick McKinnon as a player, but I just think that he's being utilized more in the passing down situations, and the Packers' defense is so bad. At least they looked so bad last week after led up 4 touchdowns to Dalvin Cook that I think they're just going to try and stick to the run game, because we do know Nick Mullins likes to throw a little more than Jimmy G, but Kyle Shanahan, he loves to draw up crafty ways to get people the ball. He loves to do running schemes, and I just think that Jerick McKinnon is not going to see the most touches on that offense. I think it's going to be JaMycal Hasty, but since you're a Jerick McKinnon fan, apparently, I want to hear your opinions.
I'm going to save my opinion until we get to the next running
JaMycal
back
Hasty.
ranking. Yeah.
Okay.
So then we can get the full picture.
Touche.
Then again, we don't have that much longer. At number 20, we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire taking on the Panthers. Not much higher than Le'Veon Bell. They kind of split the work. Clyde Edwards just seems to be getting a bit more work just because he knows the offense. It's definitely a favorable matchup for running the football.
Yeah, they exactly split the work.
Yeah. So it's kind of a toss-up on who you want. We lean a little bit more towards Clyde just because of his comfort in that offense. I think as the season progresses, I think there's a very strong possibility we see Lev Bell kind of take more of a lead position. But until now, I'm still going to stick with Clyde.
I think so too. But, yeah, it doesn't make me feel good that he only had like 10 more snaps. It's 10% more snaps. I think it was 12% more. But up next we got JaMycal Hasty taking on the Packers. Looks good when he runs the ball. Had a touchdown last week. Didn't have as many carries as I was hoping for, but was the number one running back. Tevin Coleman got hurt yet again. Injured the same knee he was already out for. But, yeah, I like JaMycal Hasty this week. Who knows when Raheem Mostert's going to come back, but JaMycal Hasty, he's looking good. He makes plays. He looks really, really good. I can't say that enough.
Here's why I like in our difference of rankings, we literally just have these two players flipped. So I would prefer Jerick McKinnon in this spot over JaMycal Hasty and literally just flip him. The reason being the 49ers are going to be playing from behind. Jerick McKinnon is the clear passing running back in that offense. That's what he does best. That's how they've used him this whole season. And in previous seasons, obviously injury issues have kind of, clouded that. But that's what he's good at, and that's what they're going to need to be doing against the Packers. He's also scored more points fantasy-wise than JaMycal Hasty. He's definitely not going to – JaMycal Hasty is going to out-touch him as far as, carries go. I think that's safe to assume. But then again, you actually don't really know. Nothing is safe to assume, actually, with the 49ers running backs.
I think it's safe to assume. Just to play devil's advocate, though.
Sure.
Even if they're down, I don't necessarily see them being down 21 points in the first quarter, so they just stop running the ball.
Yeah.
They just saw Dalvin Cook go ham. They know that the Packers' run game is their weakness, so why would you not run the ball? Even if you're down 2 touchdowns, you can still run the ball and get yourself back into the game. It's not that serious. I think they're going to be running it a lot more than Greg does, but I digress. It's up for you to decide. If you're listening to JaMycal Hasty and you need to know about Jerick McKinnon, or you have questions about Jerick McKinnon, go back, rewind, listen to us talk about him, because it's really just a toss-up. Greg likes McKinnon more, I like Hasty more, but who really knows how this is going to go?
We've also seen they were both fantasy relevant running backs last week too. So
yeah,
because
I think they both will be.
Yeah, I think if you have either of them and you need to play them, I think go ahead and do it.
Yeah, 100%.
I just would, if I had an option out of the two, I think I would prefer. Well, I know that I would prefer McKinnon, but if I had either, I'd be fine rolling them out.
If I had both, I'm starting Hasty.
Yep. There we go.
And that's the beauty of it.
Number 18, I think it is just a small difference in ranking. We really only had them flipped. Anyways, at 18, we have DeAndre Swift. He kind of came crashing back to earth after a handful of really strong performances. Had a tough matchup with the Colts. Only 6 carries for 1 yard. 3 catches for 22 yards, though. So he does consistently get involved in the passing game, which is good for his value, just for his floor, I should say. Has a pretty good matchup against the Vikings. I think that he'll get back on track this week, and I'd feel good about DeAndre Swift.
At 17, we have Leonard Fournette taking on the Saints. He's coming off a 15-carry game with 3 catches. I like Leonard Fournette going forward. Ronald Jones, he's got the fumbles. He's making bad plays. And Bruce Arians doesn't play with that shit. Leonard Fournette is definitely the passing down back, like Bruce Arians said last week, called him the nickel back. And that was obvious in this game. They were Tom Brady was looking to throw deep, and then he would just dump it off to Leonard. Should have had more catches, but Brady missed him on a couple. But I like Leonard Fournette going forward. I don't know how you feel about it. How do you feel about him just talent-wise?
Talent-wise, it's obviously there. It's just a matter of if he can stay healthy and if he stays in Bruce Arians' favor. That's to me, my question with Leonard Fournette is not a matter of talent. It's a matter of Bruce Arians. I do think that this is Leonard Fournette's job to take, though.
I would agree.
Yeah. At number 16, we got Melvin Gordon III. Only had 8 carries for 26 yards, but 6 catches for 21 yards. He's definitely going to be involved in the passing game. Typically, he should be getting a little bit more work than Phillip Lindsay. I think game script just leaned more towards Melvin Gordon being in the passing game this week. I think when it comes time to punch in a touchdown, it'll be Melvin Gordon time. They also use him in the passing game too. I like the matchup against the Falcons. They are trash on defense.
They looked better, but still not great.
Yeah, they still could have lost last week. But yeah, no, I think it's a good matchup for Melvin Gordon. I think we'll see double-digit touches again as well. But it's definitely something to monitor with Phillip Lindsay.
Yeah, I completely agree. At 15, we got Antonio Gibson. He's coming off a bye week, but week 7 he had his huge 20-carry, 128-yard, 1-touchdown game. I don't know if we're going to see that again, but hopefully we do. I think his matchup is pretty solid against the Giants. Last time against the Giants, he underperformed, but I think that was I do believe that was Kyle Allen and the Alex Smith show that week.
Was it that week?
I think it was.
What week was that?
That was week 6.
Oh,
but
remember.
Either way, I think Antonio Gibson, after proving himself in the Dallas game,
that was against the Rams, actually. Sorry.
Was that against Rams? So
yeah.
That was the week before. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they were working out the kinks though with Josh Allen. Then Josh Allen, Kyle Allen.
Did Kyle even play that game?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
he got to start right after.
Yeah.
I think after he proved himself last week or week 7, they're going to give him more carries. I think he's earned them, honestly, but who really knows? With J.D. McKissic taking some of the passing down work, it could be another day like that. But I like the talent from Antonio Gibson. How do you feel?
I feel the same way. It's hard not to play a player after he had 20-plus catches, 20-plus carries.
Yeah, I really hope that that's consistent going forward. I think if they continue to do that, I think their offense is that much better.
Yeah.
Because I think it just makes them more complete. I feel like every game they try and feed Antonio Gibson early, and then they just abandon it because they're down.
They need to involve him in the passing game because he came out as a wide receiver. So
yeah, that is true.
It doesn't make sense that they're not involving him more in the passing game to me. At number 14, we have DeeJay Dallas. This is obviously very much dependent on Chris Carson's availability. Carlos Hyde should be a scratch. I don't even know about Travis Homer. I would assume that he's still out as well.
Yeah, it says Carlos Hyde has a hammy injury that's hard to come back from, and Chris Carson won't do anything until Friday.
Yeah. So if Chris Carson is playing, I think you automatically start Chris Carson. If he's not, then I think that DeeJay Dallas has proven that he has value on this offense. At 18 carries for 41 yards, a touchdown, 5 receptions for 17 yards, and a touchdown as well. This should be a pretty competitive game. So I think that you'll see him involved in the passing game still. And the Seahawks aren't afraid to run the ball either.
No, they are not, because they love to set up that play action and drop a deep bomb. At 13, we got Ty Montgomery. He's taking on the Titans. We've seen these past few weeks that the Titans' defense is not that great. They just picked up a corner from the Chargers. And David Montgomery has looked impressive, honestly, these past few weeks. 21 carries, 89 yards. Not the best yards per carry, but yeah, he had some good runs.
He did.
There were a couple of times where he should have been brought down in the backfield and ended up making it work. He also had 2 catches for 16 yards. That's a little low for his normal receptions, so I think he'll bounce back. The only cause for concern that I have with David Montgomery is that the offensive tackle, Jason Spriggs, has tested positive for COVID. And in addition, Germain Ifedi, who is one of the better guards in the league, was determined to be a high-risk, close contact, and he's going to go on the list, so they don't know if he's going to play. But he does have a chance to be back. Sunday, so make sure you keep an eye out on that. If the line's banged up, it's not looking great for David.
At number 12 this week, we have Todd Gurley. He kind of saved his week last week with his touchdown.
He has 8 touchdowns in 8 weeks.
Yeah. It's nice.
That's crazy.
Todd Gurley he's not been incredibly efficient with his touches, but he is finding the end zone, which is what Todd Gurley does best, honestly. He'll get you in the end zone. The numbers support it. I mean, I think it's safe to say Todd Gurley is a touchdown-dependent running back. That's what the numbers say. But it's like he's consistently getting touchdowns. So it's like, yeah, he's touchdown-dependent. So what? He's getting the touchdowns.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think that, take Todd Gurley for what he is. He's a touchdown-dependent running back that gets touchdowns. So yeah. I'm playing him pretty much every week that I
agree.
That I got him.
At 11, we have Justin Jackson taking on the Raiders. And just with the addition of Troymaine Pope, I like the way that they're running that offense now. They kind of gave Kelly the boot. They told him to sit on the sideline. They gave 17 carries to Justin Jackson. He had 89 yards, and he still had 3 catches for 53 yards with Troymaine Pope acting as the main scat back. So I think they're gonna look to feed him a little more in the run game. That means he'll probably get the goal line work. Maybe Josh Kelly comes in and takes some goal line touches. But I think Justin Jackson's going to be the main rusher. Still has room in the passing game, but I think Troymaine Pope is probably the guy that they're going to want to do the screen game with.
At number 10, we have Ezekiel Elliot going up against the Steelers, a very tough matchup. If you're an Ezekiel Elliott owner, you're probably just trying to get something for him, or you're probably taking too little for him, or you're hanging on to him. If you have Ezekiel Elliott, you just kind of are stuck playing him every single week.
Sorry, Isaac.
Man.
Damn.
If you still got him, you're going to be stuck playing him. It's so frustrating because he's getting the opportunities. He touched the ball. He had 19 carries, only 63 yards, 1 catch for 10 yards. You really wish that you saw him more involved in the passing game, because when he is involved in the passing game, he's very reliable, very efficient with those types of plays. And with a young quarterback, I really wish that we've seen him more involved in the pass game. But yeah, it's just very frustrating. If I have Ezekiel Elliott and I'm in a position to hold him, I'm probably trying to do that. I really do think after the bye week, he has some better matchups. I mean, he does have some tough matchups down the stretch, but with the amount of opportunities that he gets and the talent that he has, I don't know. It's hard to not want that. But if you have Ezekiel Elliott, I understand why you're trying to get rid of him at the same time.
Who do you trade him for? I mean, obviously you take David Johnson, you take Todd Gurley, do you take David Montgomery? Do you take Antonio Gibson?
I'm taking these. I would take these players in another strong asset, like a solid wide receiver.
I don't think you can get another strong asset.
I don't think so either. I'm not taking any of those trades, to be honest. It really just depends on my record.
If you have Ezekiel Elliott, and you're like, let's say you're 4-4,
yeah,
or you're 3-5, so you have to make a move,
yeah,
and you have to settle with what you can get. What are you doing? I'm taking a David Johnson, a Todd Gurley. I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I'm considering David Montgomery, but I don't even know if I was the owner of those players. I don't think I would want Ezekiel Elliott.
If I'm doing straight up trade for any of those players, like 1-for-1, I'm taking Ezekiel Elliott in all of those.
Oh, well,
to be honest, that's just my stance. I know I'm not feeling like I'm definitely like hesitant, but
you got to think though your team's going crazy. Like you got to put yourself in a shit team. You're having a shit year. Everything's gone wrong that could go wrong, and now you have to win. Like you have to win. Ezekiel Elliott. Do you think he's going to give you a better chance to win than David Johnson?
He has his week 10 bye, so I'm leaning no, but that's a hard trade to make, man. I don't want to give up Ezekiel Elliott for David Johnson. That's just my personal opinion. I think David Johnson is like a safe floor. He's not going to have those explosive games like Ezekiel Elliott, but then again, Ezekiel Elliott is not having those explosive games.
I'm saying, who would you trade for him then? One running back. Would you have taken Myles Gaskin before he got hurt? I would have.
I suppose so.
See, but like
it just is so hard because it's It's hard to disassociate myself from the value of what Ezekiel Elliott should be worth.
Yeah,
So
because you don't own him. He hasn't fucked you.
he hasn't fucked me, and I'm not in a position to where I would need to sell him. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know if I want to take him for Todd. God damn, dude. I mean, I definitely would be considering it. It'd just be
If I need dubs this week, I'm just
week 10. I mean,
and week 10. I'm just trying.
week 10.
I'm trying to get rid of his ass. Like, I'm tired of this headache. Like, this shit hurts. Every week I got to sit there and watch Ezekiel Elliott put up no points. So I'm trying to make my best argument. Like, Ezekiel Elliott's gonna come back with Andy Dalton, like blah blah blah. And I'm just taking the L. If I go get David Johnson, if I go get Todd Gurley, and it doesn't pay off, that sucks. But at least I don't have the headache of Ezekiel Elliott anymore.
Do you think I could trade David Montgomery for Ezekiel Elliott?
is that all you got out of this, man?
Yeah,
Help the people here.
I don't know, man. That's hard. I mean, I guess David Montgomery is getting the equal amount of work Todd Gurley. These are players that I would consider. I would definitely be doing it through grit teeth. But if you need a win and you need them in week 10 too, then yeah, I guess I'm pulling the trigger on those.
What about Antonio Gibson? I think that's where I draw the line.
I think I draw the line there too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
riding
do that
Zeke
one.
out.
Yeah, Todd Gurley and David Montgomery, they're going to get the work every week. And they're both solid players. Not that Antonio Gibson isn't, but that's too much of a question mark for me.
I could not agree more. All right, up next at number 9, we have Chase Edmonds looking to fulfill his role as the starter with Kenyon Drake out, taking on the Dolphins, which really stout defense if the Rams-Dolphins game showed us anything. We've been saying it all week, though. Chase Edmonds just looks like, or all year, Chase Edmonds looks like the better running back.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the ball, he makes explosive plays. I expect more of that. I'm excited to see what Chase Edmonds can do this week. I think he's going to get the pass work. He's going to get all the rushes. He's going to get the goal line carries. So, big Chase Edmonds day incoming.
At number 8, we have David Johnson taking on the Jags. I'm looking at the numbers now. I'd probably trade David Johnson for Ezekiel Elliott if I'm the Ezekiel Elliott owner.
I think you have to.
If you could do it, I guess I would do it. That sucks. But, I mean, he's consistently mediocre, kind of like David Montgomery.
Touche.
I would say.
Touche.
But, yeah, David Johnson, he's going to get the work. Will get mildly involved in the passing game. Has a pretty good matchup as well. But they traded for him. They're gonna try and use him.
Yeah, 100%. Up next, we have Josh Jacobs at the number 7 spot, taking on the Chargers. The Chargers defense is kind of a whirlwind. You never know if it's good. You never know if it's bad. It's up and down. But those 31 carries, 128 yards that he had last week, that makes you feel good. That was definitely weather dependent. I don't think he would have had that many carries had the weather been better. But
Josh Jacobs?
Yes.
I think so.
31 carries?
He had 31 carries? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the most he's had is 27.
Yeah, no.
Which, I mean, that's still a lot. But, yeah, I think with terrible weather, you're going to want to feed your back. You want to play safe football, and that's what they did. It got them the dub. It got Josh Jacobs 12.8 fantasy points. You kind of wish he would have had a touchdown, but maybe this is his week. He's never had a game. He's only had 2 weeks where he scored a touchdown. And that was week 1 where he had 3 and week 5 where he had 2.
Nice.
Not great.
It's not great, but he's going to get the work.
That's true.
The Raiders want to run first. If they can run, they would prefer to.
I agree.
So I'm a bit biased anyways. At number 6, we have James Conner. What a good matchup against the Cowboys. He's going to get over 15 touches every week. A little bit involved in the passing game, but with a matchup against probably the worst team in the league at the moment, it doesn't get any better than that.
It does not. And at number 5, we have James Robinson taking on the Texans, coming off his monster 31.7 game where he had 22 carries, 119 yards, 4 catches, 18 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to have another big game now that Gardner Minshew's not playing. Don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. It's either going to be Luton or McGlinnan.
Luton?
Luton? Is it McGlinnan?
I don't know.
Glennon? Matt McGlinnan? I don't know. I feel like I'm saying too many ends. It doesn't matter. He's going to get the work. The Texans defense is not that great. So I look for another big James Robinson day, which is probably not 31.7 points.
At 4, we have Derrick Henry. Dare I say, coming off of a down week.
I do believe so.
18 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. What a bad day for Derrick Henry. You were definitely hoping for more. The Bears is a tough matchup. Derrick Henry is matchup proof. He is a Titan in the truest sense of the word, I would say.
Dude, he's a statue.
Yeah.
He was crafted by the gods.
Or a kid playing Madden that's 12 years old.
Yeah, but like
he needs more accessories though.
Yeah, he's like Madden 05 though, where they just like boosted the height and the weight.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you're playing with like that 7 foot tall, 400-pound running back.
That's Derrick Henry, bro.
Good times, man. At 3, we got Alvin Kamara taking on the Bucks. You know what it is. This man's got steez. He does it all the time. Lowest points he's ever scored is 19.9. Probably would have been the number 1 draft pick if you had to do a redraft. And he's got steez.
He busted off like a 40-plus yard run, and it looks so effortless. We've talked about this before, but like when he runs, it doesn't even look like he's moving fast.
Dude, I love it.
It's incredible. I love watching him play football. At number 2, making his rankings debut, maybe?
Maybe we put him on here before.
Yeah, we may have. At number 2, we have Christian McCaffrey going against the Chiefs. He is looking like he's all set to roll out this week. And if you're the Christian McCaffrey owner, like myself, you are so excited just to see him back on the field.
Yeah. I'm just so upset you have Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, wait, what? Who do I have? What did you say?
How did we let this happen?
Yeah, I have Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara on my team because I'm a fucking
asked
GM.
You, bro.
But,
nobody asked
bro,
you,
anyways,
dude.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm very excited. My domination.
Dude, stop talking.
Do you imagine if my team was...
Dude, all right.
You imagine if
number
I had
1,
Alvin
we got
Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Devonta Adams, and OBJ? Come on, bro.
Come on, all
stupid.
right. Man, sometimes I like it when you don't talk.
Same.
At number 1, we got Dalvin Cook coming off his 4-touchdown game. He's going to go off against the Lions because he's Dalvin Cook. And that's all we got, boys.
Thanks for checking out this video. If you have any issue with where we put any of these players or who we put on this list, go ahead and let us know in the comments. We can handle the heat, and we will not get out of the kitchen.
Bully us if you'd like. We're ready.
We can handle it. We're tough boys, but we are so desperate for approval. Hence the YouTube channel.
Yeah.